Hey, loves, how are you? I'm super excited about today's inner union video. We're at day 15, and today we're going to dive into a seven chakra read for the inner feminine and the inner masculine. So, this will help you kind of work with your own internal inner union energies, but we're also obviously you can apply those to your connection, divine counterpart, twin flame relationship, whatever type of relationship you're in, if you feel called to. So, this came up a few weeks ago, actually, right before I started this series. I was working with a friend and we just, really play and work in the energies almost daily, almost every single day. And this reading style or the cards came through in this way, and we were really enjoying it. And I wanted to see if it was going to continue to provide messages, and it has. And so I wanted to share it with you. And if you guys dig it, I've actually also been guided to offer it to you in a 30-minute session. So I'm going to have that down in the details for that down in the pinned comment. So here we go. We're going to start out with the divine masculine energies. Then we're going to go into the divine feminine energies, and then we're going to do a bridging energy around the connection in the heart space. So again, like I said, think of this as your internal energy and any external energies, because the inner is a reflection of the outer and the outer is a reflection of the inner. So anytime in any moment that we're focused on inner union, we are moving into unity consciousness, which supports outer union in a divine counterpart connection, but also in any and all of our relationships. So as we come into that inner union, that spreads out into every area of our life, love. It's a very, very powerful process. It's a very powerful intention, and it's much bigger and deeper than just the divine counterpart connection. It supports that spreading out in many different directions. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to do the masculine first. Oh, I decided what I'll do is I'll take a picture of this when I'm done with the reading, and I'll post it in the community tab so you all can see the cards and look back at it if you would like to. Okay. Oh, wow. The masculine's coming through strong once again. Wow. Okay. In the root chakra, we have the King of Cups. And to me, this is signaling in the root, our inner masculine is coming into an inner harmony with emotions, becoming more stable in our emotions, being able to hold space for what is generally considered a feminine energy of emotions. And so this feels very balanced and harmonized in the root chakra right now. In the sacral chakra, we have the death to rebirth process, which to me is signaling a shift over into a more sacred creation and sacred sexuality energy. To me, what's coming through is that the masculines are going through a death to rebirth process in what they have considered sexual energies in their past, and how their sexual energies have been siphoned and distracted in other areas, be it with other people, other places, other things. And they're truly learning to hold their sexual energy and or understand how important that is for their own creation processes. And there is something, it feels very much like a physical world shift around this, and there's new perspectives dropping in around what they actually want in an intimate connection, truly. well, like what they've known, what they've been taught, and what they actually want. And what I'm sensing is there was a lot of chaos and confusion energy around this, but there is a transformation occurring, and it's still in process overall, is what it feels like. But I feel that what I'm sensing energetically is the divine higher power is supporting and facilitating this process to support the masculines and reintegrating into their true power and into their true essence and energy. Okay. This sacral area is a very important key piece for both masculine and feminine, but especially for the masculine, because this is where so much distortion has been targeted at the masculine. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Love that this transformation is happening for all of us. Beautiful. Okay. And in the solar plexus, we have the King of Swords. There's a couple energies coming through for me, but the initial one is actually coming through that in the solar plexus, in the power, as this sacral death to rebirth process is happening. The masculines are starting to drop into a deeper level of inner truth. Like, they thought that they were in truth, they thought they understood truth and were in integrity, and it feels like they're starting to see where they had a lot of blind spots, a lot of programming, where a lot of it was just forced into their system. And there's a lot of thawing out going on internally. So it's kind of like the ice king, the ice energies, or the places where they were internally frozen and then externally froze things on the outside. That is beginning to thaw. And as it's beginning to thaw, they're understanding more and more of their own truth. And it's not that they didn't think that they were in their truth before, they did, but they're realizing that it was only actually a very small part of their truth. And this feels pretty intense. There is definitely a strong essence and energy of what they knew, what they know now, and kind of really having to allow that to internally recalibrate and clear out and dissolve the information that isn't really true to their soul and to what they truly want. And that takes time. For any of the masculines here, I would love to hear from you. From any of the feminines here, if you're experiencing this in your energetics, I would love to hear about your process from you as well. Okay. Okay, so in the heart space, we have a lot of learning happening. It feels like the heart energy is where a lot of this recalibration is being fueled from. The heart activations are moving both into the upper chakras and down into the lower chakras, in activating an expansion in both directions, kind of like we were talking about with the tree and the tree roots. The deeper the roots are able to stabilize down into the earth, the broader the branches can grow upward and outward. And so as the masculine energies are where they are usually more strong in the lower chakras, is getting so much more room and space for their true energy and essence, is going to allow their higher power, their higher knowledge, their original true core soul blueprints and pre-birth plans to drop into this solar plexus, into this earthly realm, and they're learning to balance a lot. Okay. So even if they're quiet, please know that they're learning very deeply, just like the feminines have been going through on their side. Again, like I've said, it's going to be a different perspective. So when you're looking at this in an internal way, if you've learned to do things one way, you may find you're being called to flip your perspective and look at it from a different situation, from a different angle. Okay. This is going to actually double your solutions and your capabilities of dealing with more and more situations out in the world within yourself, but also whether you're dealing with masculines or feminines in general. or just any human being, because again, we all have these internal energies. So we're being called to allow ourselves to expand our perspectives and even flip it and look at it from a completely different perspective than you are used to. I'm not saying that you have to embody that if it doesn't resonate, but there is going to be huge value in allowing yourself to look at the different perspective, because it's going to broaden your ability to see from other people's points of view. Regardless if you agree or disagree, it's going to allow you to come from that more neutral unity consciousness. Okay, beautiful. And in the throat chakra, we have the emperor. Like, this is so much divine masculine energy coming through for the masculine side. And this to me feels like there is a deep, again, recalibration going on in the throat chakra, matching the deep recalibration happening within the other systems. Okay. This feels like what I'm sensing in my energetic field right at this moment is that the masculines may be very quiet, very like silent, strong type, but this is because he's thinking, he's recalibrating, he's contemplating, he's actually coming up with a plan as he's receiving those higher codes. He's allowing it to integrate into him and coming up and contemplating the plan of how he's going to play his pieces in the physical world. He's setting up the plans, he's setting up the trajectory. But what I'm sensing as I'm moving into the crown chakra is there's another deep recalibration that's happening, in the sense where the masculines maybe knew how to do things one certain way in the past, and they really like to stay on that comfortable trajectory where they felt strong. In this recalibration process, they are learning to juggle many new perspectives at once. They're allowing themselves the space to thaw out and to recalibrate and look at more pieces than they ever have before, where maybe before they kind of shoved half the pieces to the side and were like, look at, I just need to work with these pieces, right? Now they're like adding more pieces and parts and options to the board so that they have more opportunity to work with. Okay. And this is what is creating needing more space and time to adjust, to calibrate, because they're really literally allowing themselves to receive the higher downloads in new ways. What I'm sensing and seeing is maybe in the past, those energies were coming in and they just blew them off because they were so strong in what they knew. They didn't need to do all that. It was working for them. But it feels like somewhere along the way, something new has clicked and opened up. I think it might be because the feminine side is softening more and allowing herself to receive. So it's triggering the masculines to be able to receive in a new way as well. Okay. And as the masculines are allowing themselves to receive higher plans in a new way, it's allowing the feminines to really settle into the physical world and build her foundation. So you see how they're always working in harmony and unison, even if it doesn't always seem like it. Even if this is being applied to an external connection and you're not actually necessarily seeing the results in the physical world yet, trust that behind the scenes, whoever is working with you is doing their part, and you will know, because if you're growing and shifting, know that your connection is as well. Okay. So they're learning how to, as we move into the crown and we have the Page of Cups, they're really learning how to receive the messages in the first place. I'm sensing as I'm saying this, they're like, all of a sudden they'll be going about their day or something will happen and an idea will come in, and it might be at an odd time, which might click back to yesterday's message around being present. Okay. And it's feels like divine energy is really coming in and kind of tapping them on the shoulder and saying, hey, look at this perspective, really pulling them out of their comfort zone, but actually into their true comfort zone, where they were before. What they knew how to do it, but it actually wasn't comfortable. They were very suffocated in those energies. So the divine energy is tapping them on the shoulder and saying, hey, you're capable of way more. You have way more abilities than what you've been doing. Yes, you are good at what you do, but what if you started adding these new things in? What if you started bringing in new pieces, in new opportunities, but in a way that feels stable, in a way that you can handle and that you can control to a degree, in the sense where, when I say control, not in that like, but that you can contain and maintain and sustain in the physical world, right? We do need levels of surrender and control together. Okay. So I know I did the series and the messages around divine feminine surrender. Perhaps we'll go into divine masculine containers. Let's simmer on that. If you guys would like some information around that, if you think you would like a video on that, let me know in the comments and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay. But we have this energy where the masculines are allowing themselves to go through a massive, massive expansion, which, going through this expansion within all the chakras, within all the areas, is what is going to allow more and more of their higher soul energy to truly drop into physicality. Okay. Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful work. No matter how you identify, internal masculine or external masculine, our collective is making huge strides, but it's very clear that this is a rebirth process that is happening. So for those of you that have gone through it, you know, so hold that space and grace for those who are starting to go through it now. And if you're in the midst of the process, be gentle with yourself. Transformation does take time. But what I found is, when we truly allow ourselves the space to do it and not feel pressured to get to a certain place at a certain time, but just realizing this is the process, that is where we build the muscle, and it's where we actually drop in the results and embody, truly embody the transformation that we've been asking for. Because what has happened in the past is, we knew what we wanted, we knew where we wanted to be, we knew parts of us could do it, but what would happen is that we would start to get into it and then we would find those pockets where we just couldn't sustain it. And that's okay. That's where we're building the muscles. Okay. That's why many of you have gone into those pockets of separation or no communication in the physical world, to allow yourselves as individuals to build this strength internally. Okay. Now we're going to go into the feminines. Where are the feminines at? Ooh, we're going to take that one. And just so you guys know, I have the same deck, but in a smaller version for the feminines. Okay. Wow. All right. So the feminines in the root chakra are really anchoring in to their truth. The feminines are also stabilizing their strength into the root chakra and truly learning how to recalibrate her emotions in the root chakra as well. There is some of that mirroring happening. Interestingly, there's a message coming through for the feminines that if you have grown in this area, or you felt there was a time where you were more emotionally stable and in tune with your emotions than the masculine energies, what's happening is you're being called to level up. You're being called to notice where you may have thawed or protected or iced yourself in the past because, well, you needed to allow the recalibration to happen. But now, as the masculine energies are thawing, the feminines are being called to level up their next levels of emotional mastery, and dropping that into the root chakra. And it could be as simple as dropping in the results of what you've been doing into the roots and holding space to allow the old information to unravel and clear out as the new results come in. I've actually been experiencing this myself where I've really set that intention to drop in the results. And as that information is coming in, some of the old is coming up. But I've been acutely aware that it's not going to stay and that it's not happening because I have to go back into the old ways. What's happening is it's kind of like when you clean out the old information so the new has space to go in. It's like when you buy new clothes, right? And you have your closet full of old clothes, and there's some clothes in there that you're going to donate, but you haven't gotten around to donating them yet. And you find a whole bunch of new clothes you want. You get home with the new clothes and you're like, man, now I have to clean out the closet because I have all these gorgeous new things and there's no room for them. So you start going through the closet and clearing out the stuff that doesn't work anymore. And it gets a little messy for a minute while you're doing that. You clear it out, you take it to the donation, and now you have space to clean up and hang up your new things. That is exactly what it's like when we're dropping in the results. Okay. So think of it like that. You are dropping it in, but there's some cleaning up to do to make space for it. You're kind of doing it simultaneously from both ends. But if you've cleaned up and made space and then you're dropping in the results and you're finding things coming up, it just means you need more space, love. Doesn't mean that you've done something wrong or that you have to go back. Just keep letting yourself receive and embody those results. And this is why this is coming up. It's part of being called to level up because you're ready to embody more of who you actually are and embody more of the results that you've been creating. You're ready to receive those in the physical. And in this gorgeousness, in the sacral chakra, the feminines have been going through very deep upgrades. And this is confirmation, loves, with the sun in this space, that the work that you have been doing to clear your creation center and your womb space is what's supporting these new creations and this new ability to manifest and attract into your life what it is that you're wanting. Again, this goes for masculine or feminines. So as your masculine side is going through this rebirth and clearing out of what isn't true, it's allowing these new downloads to come in and embody into the sacral energies, which is bringing life force and power and creation power and energy and sexual energy, which is life force creation energy, back into the systems. I'm also sensing that there may have been many of you that have been in a time of celibacy or sustaining yes, anyway, we're just going to leave it there. I could go on to a video about that and the importance of going through that clearing process, and if you are called to, allowing yourself to go through a state of celibacy, which allows for very, very deep, powerful clearing, recalibrating, and restoring of your true power, of your true creation energy, where your energy was siphoned, divine feminine. And masculines, if you're resonating with this, take it as well, because I do know there are masculines that go through times of celibacy as well. And this is actually a very, very healing process as you're clearing out and making space for those original plans, clearing out the old information, shoring up where your creation energies were being siphoned, leaked, or those parasitic energies we're sucking off of, and learning how to truly hold and protect that space for yourself. Oh, I just got a tickle in my throat. So we know that there's something there. Okay. What else wants to come with that? There's a recalibration going on both parts. What I'm actually sensing with that little tickle in my throat is that there's way more that wants to come in. And as the internal masculine and feminine energies sync up, there's going to be a tremendous amount of creation power that comes online for both masculines and feminines, okay? Internally within your own energies, but also what I'm seeing is within the collectives on the planet. I'm being shown right now that this is a very, very important and key piece to that. So allowing yourself to heal and recalibrate and energize the sacral chakra in whatever way you are called. Okay. That was a definite little side message that got my attention right there. Excuse me. All right. In the solar plexus, divine feminines are really beginning to just begin to come into her power. Okay. She has built the strength, she's opening, and she's learning how to balance and harmonize through her whole system. She's beginning to feel what her power feels like. And she's taking the time, or if you're not, pay attention to this, taking the time to hold space for herself, to calibrate into these areas that she may have not ever embodied into. The feminines are making very powerful moves, like I spoke about in the video last week. Okay. This right here is really a significant energy. Like this energy is coming in at the feminines, and she's opening to be able to receive it and handle it. Okay. This is another reason why we're being called to open up our emotions and recalibrate into the earth at a deeper level, so that you have the space and the strength to receive your own power, your own true power in a whole new way. Okay. In the heart space, the feminines, as the feminines internally or externally are opening the heart space, the more that we open the heart space in a protected, comfortable, cushioned way, right? Like you open it up to yourself, for yourself first, then you have your cushioning to where someone else externally would connect with you in the heart space, and you'll begin to learn deeper ways of knowing those levels and layers as you work with it internally. You're dropping in the protection energy naturally, and as you recalibrate to that, it allows for the natural energies to connect with you. There's more there, but I'm being called to really hone in on the fact that as we open our heart, this is what allows telepathic communication to strengthen. Okay. Our telepathic abilities are directly connected to the level of heart space opening. That may be why some of you experienced strong energetic telepathy and connection when your heart was wide open. And then as you went into any pain or the core soul wounds, you may have found that those abilities and telepathic connections subsided. It's not because you lost it. It's just because it went dormant as a protective mechanism. But as you're reopening your heart and recalibrating and strengthening, right, as you're dropping in your truth and your boundaries and your standards, you are actually embodying those. And as your heart gets the information of your true, authentic standards and boundaries, you will naturally, over time, feel comfortable opening your heart more when you're ready. This isn't a race, again, but you can set these intentions for yourself as checkpoints for the future if this isn't happening for you now, with the intention that as you are ready and as your heart opens, you will also be ready to open up your higher intuitive and telepathic connections with who feels in alignment with you to do that for. Okay. That was a message that really wanted to come through. Okay. And in the throat chakra, we have the Hierophant. So the feminines are really learning to pull in these higher energies, allowing herself to integrate them down into the root chakra. And as she's embodying them for herself and feeling comfortable, she is then able to share them out into the world through her voice, through her expression, through her creations, in whatever way she is called to do. Okay. In the crown chakra, it looks that the divine feminines are being called to look at where she may have been running. Okay, hold on with me for a minute because I can feel this. It feels twofold because there's something connected with this root chakra that the feminines are ready to expand out. Okay, so where, say, the feminines again, say, let's use this as an example because it tends to be one of those things that we hear in society, that we look at the masculines or think of the masculines as not being emotionally available. And the feminines feel like, well, I'm emotionally available, but the masculines aren't. Okay. But remember, I said maybe you were to a certain degree, but maybe it's time to recalibrate that and say, oh, you know what? I was emotionally available, but nowhere near as emotionally available as I am now. So maybe I wasn't emotionally available as much as I thought back then because I've grown and learned so much more now. And maybe back then I was also running. I was also freezing myself out because, yes, I had skills, but not as many as I thought, not as many as I have now. So I can go back to those old experiences, find where I may have been running or hiding intuitively, right? In my crown, in my meditations, in my thoughts, and in my intentions. And I can contemplate this, not to judge myself, but to say, oh my gosh, I've grown so much. Now I can thaw this out. This part of me that might have been a little frozen or scared or running can now bring the results into those parts of myself. Okay. I've been doing this a lot lately. I've kind of been blown away. I'm just going to tell you. And it's been actually pretty awesome because I'm like, wow, now I have way more space to drop in the results of what I've been doing because I went back and freed these parts of myself that weren't as strong as I am now a few years ago. Okay. Because let's keep it real. We're way stronger right now than we were 3, 4 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, a week ago. Okay. So we can always be dropping in the new results, but that is part of the reward. That's part of what lets us receive the support from all of the work that we've been doing. So there's a bit of contemplation that is ready to take space for divine feminine. She's ready to thaw. I'm also getting that there is a key piece. There's some old residual sadnesses that might go back to that time and space as well. Maybe where in the past you were grieving deeply, or for some of you, it might be happening now. So take it however it resonates, okay? But there is a key in this revisitation that is going to shed a whole new light on your past experiences, okay? This new perspective, oh, what I'm sensing so deeply is this bit of contemplation is going to open up so much new perspective, just like the masculines are doing, right? That is going to allow you to learn even more than you already have from the same situations because you're going to another perspective. And everything that you've been learning in the meantime has strengthened you to the point that when you revisit the situation, you're going to have a whole new set of eyes and experience to look at it with. Okay. And that is a big part of dropping in the results. Okay. Wow. There is some major stuff happening and I'm here for it. You guys are doing gorgeous. Okay. There is so much mirroring within this as you guys can sit with. I would suggest that you listen to this one multiple times. I'm going to, because I feel like even as I'm sitting here with this, I can feel the expansiveness of these messages and all of the little diamonds that are sprinkled in them. Okay. So I want to get a few cards just for the bridging energy between the masculine and feminines and what is going to be the most beneficial for us to know about that. And what came through is the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. And what this feels like to me is that together in harmony, in unison, internally and externally in the collectives, we're simultaneously together learning how to open up our emotions and balance and harmonize and come into inner union so that we are able to sustain outer union energies on the planet. And this is also allowing us to embody more deeply into the physical material world and call in and sustain the resources and the prosperity that is both necessary and deserved to build and sustain these new loving unity conscious creations. So as we come into this internal union and internal unity consciousness, we're now signaling to the universe that we are ready to handle and sustain the material world prosperous energies to allow us to build the new templates, okay? To become the example, to be able to be in this world and but not of it, to be able to embody into our spiritual, emotional, and authentic physical energies and marry that with a sustainable, prosperous physical world. Okay. We deserve all of it. Yes, we deserve to enjoy nice, beautiful things in the physical world. And we deserve to do that without having to sacrifice our spirit and our love and our emotions and our truth. We deserve all of it. And that is what we are collectively working on internally and externally together, okay, as masculine and feminine collectives. Remember, the biggest dream, the bigger dream is for us to be able to be in unity and be all of who we are, bringing in our true joy in creations, working and being in service to the planet and to others in ways that we love and support us in our own health and growth and prosperity, so that we can in turn allow it to continue to bloom and blossom in all of the ways that we have envisioned, imagined, and foreseen. Okay, loves, this is gorgeous. I'm super excited. If you would like to experience this reading for yourself, one-on-one with me, it's available now for the next few weeks. It's the Inner Union reading. It's a 30-minute reading, and we're going to do a dive into this for you. It's a very informative reading, as you can tell. And if you want to just enjoy that part of it with me and get those messages, you can do the 30-minute reading. And for any of you that want to take a deeper dive into the messages and ask questions and see where it's headed, you can book a 1-hour session with me. That's actually on special right now. So both of those, I don't usually do half-hour readings very often. Every now and again, if I get guided to offer that, because there's something of high value that I can offer you in that time frame, that I actually absolutely will do that. So all of that information will be in the description box and in the pinned comment. And I hope you have a beautiful, gorgeous day. Loving these messages. And I'm going to see you tomorrow for day 16 of Inner Union. Love you. Bye.